So you've probably heard the hype, right? AI agents can run your whole day. Yeah, I heard it too, and my first reaction was to just roll my eyes. Seemed like another one of those empty tech promises. But then, well, then a certain Monday morning came along and pretty much forced my hand. You know the feeling. It was that kind of Monday morning. I was just drowning, jumping from a flood of emails to updating a spreadsheet to setting reminders, all while juggling what felt like 100 open tabs. It was just this endless cycle of switching from one thing to another, and I hit a wall. So let's be clear, this experiment wasn't born out of curiosity. It was pure desperation. I just decided, fine, let's do this. I gave myself 14 days to replace as many of my daily tasks as I could with these autonomous AI agents, just to see what would actually happen. Now, I knew I couldn't just jump in blind. I mean, if I was really going to hand over the keys to my professional life, I needed some kind of framework. I needed some ground rules. And this was the rule I came up with. It's simple, but it guided everything. If an agent can plan it, run it, or repeat it, it gets the job. That's it. If a task fit that description, I had to let it go. It was a conscious choice to delegate and just trust the process. To actually do this, I had to assemble, well, basically a digital team. I was using things like OpenAI's agent kit for the complex stuff, train some custom GPTs on my own data, and then use platforms like Zapier and Make.com to act as the glue holding it all together. And for very specific things like memory and email, I had specialists like Rewind and Superhuman AI. And these were the jobs I handed over. I'm talking email triage, calendar management, coming up with content ideas, market research, all my follow-up reminders, drafting those repetitive messages, and even monitoring industry trends. And here's the crazy part. Within 48 hours, about 80% of my routine work was just no longer mine to do. But the biggest leap of faith, the real wild card, was letting an agent plan my entire next day. Now, that wasn't just delegating a task. That was handing over the steering wheel for my own schedule. And that was the real test of trust. The first results were, well, they were immediate, they were shocking, and they came with a feeling I absolutely did not expect. It became clear almost right away. AI agents are not like ChatGPT. ChatGPT gives you answers. Agents take action. And I think that's the single biggest misconception people have. Seeing it work in practice was a genuine shock to the system. I mean, I would literally wake up, open my dashboard, and see that work was already done. 3 emails drafted for your review, 2 follow-ups scheduled. It honestly felt like having an intern who never sleeps, never complains, and never forgets a thing. But that feeling of power immediately came with this new kind of fear. This quiet anxiety in the back of my head, just wondering, what exactly did it do while I was asleep? What decisions did it make on my behalf without asking me first? The first magical win came pretty quickly. In just 7 minutes, an agent took my chaotic inbox with 117 unread emails and sorted it perfectly into 4 clean categories: important, not important, action required, and archive. The accuracy was stunning, way better than my own sloppy attempts at filtering. Next, an agent started finding opportunities that I was completely blind to. It was monitoring AI news and surfaced a new affiliate program I would have 100% missed. It also detected that one of my old topics was suddenly trending again, so I wrote an article on it, published it, and it became one of my best performing pieces of the year. The cumulative effect was just staggering. All told, I was saving 2 to 3 hours every single day. But it wasn't one big, dramatic moment. It was the quiet disappearance of all the little annoyances. The copy-pasting, the reformatting, the scheduling reminders, all those little tasks that chip away your focus, they were just gone. Okay, but of course it wasn't all magic. To be credible here, we have to be brutally honest about where these agents still completely fall apart. This was a perfect example of a small mistake causing a really big problem. An agent replied to an email and confirmed a meeting for a time I wasn't even free. I never approved it. I don't even like Tuesday meetings. And in that one small moment, a lot of trust was broken. My research agent was another pain point. It would give me about 60% great, actionable insights, but the other 40% was just confidently presented, completely made-up nonsense. The takeaway there was crystal clear. You have to double-check anything important. And this became the perfect way to think about it. AI agents right now are like self-driving cars. They can handle the highway pretty well, those long, straight, predictable stretches, until they suddenly can't. You absolutely still need to keep your hands near the wheel. But the biggest transformation for me wasn't about saving time or even finding new opportunities. It was the emotional and psychological shift that I don't think anyone is really talking about. At first, I felt powerful. Then a strange thing happened. I started to feel guilty. Watching the agents do my old tasks made me feel like I wasn't doing real work. But that guilt eventually gave way to this surprising sense of relief. Because the truth is, most of what we call busy work was never the real work to begin with. It's just digital clutter pretending to be productivity. The agents didn't just save me time. They gave me back my mental space for the work that actually matters. So my final verdict is that this is a powerful hybrid system, but it is not a replacement. Agents are not yet reliable for sensitive communication, for complex decision-making, for anything requiring emotional nuance, or for tasks that need long-term memory. As assistants and accelerators, they're incredible. As total replacements, not yet. This experiment permanently changed how I work. Today, about 35 to 40% of my work is fully autonomous. Another 30 to 40% is AI-assisted, and that leaves about 20 to 30% that is fully human. And honestly, that's the part of my job I now enjoy the most. It's the part that feels like real thinking, real creativity. So this whole experience leaves me with one final question, not just for myself, but for you. If you could strip away all the digital clutter from your day, all the small repetitive tasks, what busy work do you think is hiding your real work?